Hey bitches, welcome back to my channel. I am currently sitting here once again with the love of my life, about to talk some shit. It's a little warm in the room that we are in right now. I have a fan pointed directly at me. The weather in Texas has been like so crazy. We are back in our 100-degree days.
It's hot.
I'm not ready for it. They say like the real feel is going to be like 118 degrees.
The humidity today, you
Awful.
could cut it with a knife.
Awful.
It was bad.
If you guys think that I'm like looking a little strange in this video, it's because we're in a different setup right now. We've been trying to figure out how we want to record our podcast that we're bringing back over on Patreon. And so Dustin is on the other side of my camera, kind of far away from me. So I'm kind of like trying to focus on him as well. I don't have my glasses on, so I'm going to look like Ariana Grande on like late night shows where she's like, what's going on? I need like a screen over here so I can see you and see what's going on. So it's like we're having a conversation.
You see me enough. I don't think you need to see me anymore.
So the first person that I want to talk about is none other than James Charles, because he is launching his brand Painted. I believe it's next week that he's coming out with this brand. A lot of people have been expecting James to get into some kind of scandal, like maybe somebody was going to come out and say that James was in their DMs asking for like another armpit picture. But James Charles has been on his best behavior, other than trying to throw a lot of shade at Tati Westbrook with the whole like bi sister video. He loves to bring up the bi sister video any chance that he can get, but if you talk about it, you're an asshole. You need to leave that in the past. You're wrong. It's like Jacqueline with her lipsticks. Jacqueline will come online and try to play the victim about her lipsticks and say that she hates when people talk about it. And the next day, Jacqueline's going to be on her Instagram story throwing a little bit of shade about it. So it's okay when she does it, but you can't do it.
It's rules of D, not for me.
So the reason that James Charles is getting talked about is because the other day he uploaded to his TikTok that he was having an emergency with his brand. Basically, he received the final product that they are going to be releasing for the masses to buy. And he put one of the paints on his eye and it started flaking off almost immediately. And he was like, this is not the formula that we are trying to come out with. He is not trying to have a Jacqueline lipstick. Speaking of the lipsticks, he is not trying to have a Jacqueline Hill kind of like lipstick drama to go on. So he immediately rushed down to the lab. He said he's going to fix this issue. But a lot of people on Reddit, as well as over on TikTok, were wondering if he was just trying to get ahead of something. Like, if anything goes wrong with this launch, if anybody comes back and they say that this formula is not giving and it's flaking, he can turn around and be like, you know what? I tried to fix it. I'm sorry you guys saw me on camera. Let's try to fix it again.
There's a huge emergency with my new makeup brand Painted, so come with me to the lab today to hopefully get it fixed. I had to wake up at the crack of dawn, which I was not excited about, to get ready and pack my kit because it's about to be a long ass day. I recently received my final sample of my first product that are about to launch, but when I tried them out, there was a huge problem. My paints were cracking. I could not believe it. After spending years on this formula to perfect it, and with our launch only being a couple of weeks away, this is not what I want to be dealing with right now. When you create a product with a lab, you work with their chemists to make a formula, and I went through more than 20 rounds of samples and formulas to get my paints absolutely perfect and ready to go, and they were approved and signed off on months ago. So why was the sample that I just received not the same as the approved formula? The best way that I can explain this is that formulas are kind of like baking recipes. But with makeup, instead of, grocery store items, it's chemical elements like hexadecane and dimethicone. So when you're baking, if you wanted to make more cupcakes, you just double your recipe, but makeup doesn't work the same way. So when labs scale up a formula from being a few tubes to several thousand, there's always bound to be some problems. So I pulled up to the lab and invited a couple of friends to join me and help test them out. I'm usually testing all my formulas by myself, but it is really helpful to get other opinions, especially from artists that I really respect, because it's important that my products work on different skin types, tones, and with different products and techniques. We worked with the chemist and went through color by color to make little tweaks to the formula. Thank God most of the paints were approved in only one try, but for some reason, we could not fix the yellow. We literally had to reformulate this color 4 times. I honestly did not think it was going to be approved today, but at the last minute, the chemist made one ingredient change, and by some miracle, it was finally good to go. I definitely wasn't looking forward to my lab day today, and it wasn't the most fun either, but these are normal problems that come with being a new brand owner, so you just gotta stay calm and problem solve. My friends being there to help me out made it so much more enjoyable, and at this point, I am just so excited that we are finally done and only a couple of weeks away from Painted being in the hands of artists all around the world.
It's not really out of the possibilities of something I think James would do, because let's face it, a lot of people don't like James now, and he has to make the mark on this one, because if he doesn't and he falls flat, a lot of people are going to be talking about him, and he doesn't want a repeat of what happened with Jacqueline. He knows how bad she got dragged through the mud for all of that.
So there are a lot of people wondering if this launch is going to go well for James Charles. They're like, is it a little bit too late? Like, has he been through too many scandals? But I actually am one of the ones that thinks that this is going to go like off amazing for James. Like, it's going to sell out. He's going to sell every single unit that they ordered probably come online even if they didn't sell out, though. You know how beauty gurus like to be like, I sold out of everything.
And then restock in 2 weeks.
Yeah, but the reason that I think this is going to do well for James is because he really did take a page out of Shane and Jeffrey's book and basically made a giant infomercial over on TikTok. He really brought his fans in because he made a whole different TikTok account, J. Charles Makeup. He was asking questions to his audience like, what do you want me to like come out with? What do you want to buy? Like, are you loving this color right here? He would show the samples. So people feel like they're very connected to this. And I think that he has actually like tapped into kind of a new audience over on TikTok, just the same way that Jeffree Star has like tapped into a new audience over there, because Jeffrey's doing amazing on those live streams. He's like the #2 person on the live streams.
He's making
with, like,
a lot
gifts.
of money that he says he's donating.
Yeah, they're going to be donated. And someone actually swatted Jeffrey the other night when he was on his live. Like, that was crazy. People thought that he was like sitting in the back of the cop car, but apparently he was sitting in his Hummer.
Me and my assistant are in my house, cozy and chilling, and someone did a fake police call. There's a police car. There's an ambulance saying shots fired. You guys, I'm not kidding. Look.
What?
Someone watching this did a fake cop call on me saying that there was shots fired at my ranch. Ambulance, the whole town loves me.
He got swatted, bro. No.
Me.
He got
swatted me. You're a stupid mother.
No way.
But it's also really not, because I'm so chill in my house.
That's not funny, bro.
No. Listen,
It puts you in danger.
It's funny. This has never happened
listen.
before. I got swatted. I'm not kidding. There's ambulances here thinking I'm shot and hurt.
Yo, was it the dude from the live?
It had to be.
Does that mean?
Are you the cop car? Wait, are you the cop car? There's a bunch of.
I'm in my own Hummer. I have the electric Hummer.
Oh, he's him. That thing. Hold on. Can you flip the camera?
You guys,
That thing looks sick.
I have 25 cars. Listen, there's ambulances here. There's a fire department, and all my neighbors think that I did something wrong. I'm sorry.
I don't even need to have 25 Hot Wheels.
If my neighbors are watching, I have no idea what's happening. Someone called the
How
cops.
do I know where he lives? Because it's easy to trace someone's IP when that.
No, but my ranch is public. I've never had this happen to me before. My animals are so bothered right now. People are so stupid.
That's not cool, bro.
What the freak?
What's going on
Jeff,
here?
you have security like surrounding your like.
He said, I'll tell you more when I know it. Okay, so I'm just sitting here. He said, I don't want to get out of my car, because imagine something happens.
What the freak?
What the heck?
In the middle of battling my friends, you guys, they're calling my gate, and my assistant's like, yo, the cops are here. You need to like answer. And I'm like, why? We're on live. The fire department, the fire protection.
Yeah, no, they send everyone when that happens.
Everyone is here.
Nah, yo, we got swatted.
Yakron.
on, bro.
We're at my front gate. I'm not allowing these people on my property. I'm on the city side of the fence now. They're not going through my gate. Absolutely not. Oh my God, the firefighter's here. Oh, he's cute. Hi, I'm hurt. I'm actually I'm severely injured.
That is honestly so dangerous for people to do that. Like, I don't understand, even if you dislike someone that much, that not only puts that person that you don't like in danger, but it also puts like the officers that respond in danger because they don't know what they're going into. It's just, that's really sick to me.
And while we're on the topic of James Charles, you know that Tana is actually receiving a lot of hate online right now because of her new budding friendship with James Charles. Like, they have really reconciled. And I've seen a lot of people over on TikTok in the comment section, they were saying, I was really starting to like Tana again. I was really on her side. I loved her podcast. But then they saw her buddying up with James Charles once again. And they're like, oh, because you know that Tana put out that tweet basically saying that if any of her friends ever in her life, if there is evidence out there that shows them being a predator or anything like that, they're axed out. Like, she's blocking, she's deleting the number and all of that. So they're like, you're a liar, Tana. You literally went back on your word because, hi, James. James has literally come on camera and told everyone he was desperate for the things that he was being accused of. So Tana is full of shit.
I myself am really disappointed with Tana because I thought maybe she had turned over a new leaf. I thought she wasn't going to be with the bullshit no more, but here she comes.
Yeah.
Here are her and James Charles again. Like, Tana's going to get into another scandal. I guarantee it, because those two,
She's going to get into an entanglement.
she's already in an entanglement, but that's a story for another video.
The next person that I want to talk about is none other than Glamzilla, because she is back on her bullshit once again. again. Now, the other day in my video, I said that I have to give credit where credit is due to Glamzilla because she was over on her Instagram story. She was starting to put like hashtag gifted or like hashtag ad. But the reason that people think that Glamzilla is back on her bullshit is because she was posting photos of a lot of different products and there was a link to it if you wanted to check this out for yourself, if you wanted to buy it. There are style links. So you know that she's not disclosing right there that she's getting a commission for that.
Yep.
And at the bottom, in the very bottom, and oh, by the way, on these links, there would like always be a question. It's like, is brown the new black? Question mark. So people would click on it. There's a bunch of different ones. The other one says compact design for easy sculpting. And then at the bottom of all of these posts, she would have in very, very tiny, tiny, tiny letters and white letters, by the way. So the background in all these photos is white. So down there, she would have the name of all of the brands that she was tagging in it. So they would see it as well and see that she was promoting the product in hopes probably of receiving some kind of PR or of receiving them being like, hey, do you want to do a sponsored post for us? Because Glamzilla loves to fish for sponsorships.
Yes.
She has told us that she loves to fish for sponsorships. She has told us that TikTokers love to fish for sponsorships, and she is doing that. I honestly think that Glamzilla is on her Kim Kardashian bullshit as well, but Kim Kardashian basically said that if she's bored one day and she really wants something, and she brought up the example of Oreos, she could just go online and she could say, I really love Oreos right now, and the next day there's gonna be like packages upon packages of Oreos that show up, like with her face on it. Well, Glamzilla is over on her Instagram story, and she is basically flat out begging for a Stanley Cup.
Today I tried a couple new lip products that I really like. You're gonna love them too. And I need a new Stanley Cup, and I want it to be bedazzled but hot pink. I think Etsy is my only option, and they're like $200 there.
And then she goes on in her next story to say how she wants to do this event. And she's literally flat out asking for people to sponsor this event because she just wants to have a party in Toronto. She wants to have a bunch of her followers come and get drunk with her for some reason. And she's like, I cannot offer anything for this other than like me just showing up and getting drunk. She's like, I'll do like 2 TikToks, one where I make like a fun drink with the alcohol because she wants an alcohol sponsorship. And then the other one, I guess like some kind of thing for the venue.
An idea, and I want to run it by you. So never have I ever really partied. I've never went like clubbing, pop bottles, and do hood rat shit. And I want to, and I want to do it with you. So I would love to. I don't know how we're gonna make it happen, but I think it's gonna happen. I would love to host a club. I would love to go to a club and have a never have I ever night, and pop bottles and do hood rat shit. And I want to do it with you. So if you're somebody who never goes out, you don't get dressed up, and you never really do hood rat shit and party and stuff, me too. And I think it's the perfect time to do it. Why not? So that's the ultimate question is, would you come? I think I would host it in in Toronto, obviously. And I was looking at my calendar. I'm free on Saturday, July 15th. I would love to do it then. I don't know where it would be, but I'll tell you one thing about my playlist. It's made for the girls, the gays, and the days. Hi, if you ain't down with Britney, Cher, and Beyonce, you ain't down. Hello. If you are somebody who works with Toronto clubs or alcohol and would like to sponsor this event, please let me know. Because I'll be very straightforward with you. If people who are following me are gonna party with me, I don't want them paying for shit, so I need a sponsor. And here's my trade-off. We're gonna do a Never Have I Ever episode. And we're gonna party, okay? But that's all I could offer. Oh! And I will also make a cool drink video. I will keep you updated. And if anyone actually sponsors this event, y'all better show them love, man. You better go follow them, go like the freaking posts, and you better come out to the night. Do hood rat shit with me.
Would you go to a Glamzilla event? I feel like Glamzilla. I feel like Glamzilla would throw.
No.
I feel like she would throw a good event.
I don't, just because I would hate the part where she would get up and give the toast or give a speech and she'd be like, and I love all of you guys. You have all changed my life since I've been doing this for 13 million years. No.
I really feel like Glamzilla is a little bit, and people might think I'm crazy when I say this, but you really have to, I think you really have to watch Glamzilla over on her Instagram story and just how she talks in general, because it can be, the way Glamzilla talks, I'm gonna just say it out loud, it's a little bit annoying.
It is.
It's kind of
It's
annoying.
very
It kind
annoying.
of sounds like she's trying to maybe appear a little bit more dumb than she actually is. And so what I'm saying when I say that before people get upset is I think she's a little bit like Paris Hilton, because you know, for so many years, Paris Hilton had that persona of like, oh my God, that's hot. And she would just play stupid on television. And look at Paris Hilton now.
Paris
Look
is
at her now.
literally the only person that can get away with
Yes,
that.
but I think that is a little bit of what Glamzilla is copying as well, because I know that she actually is a big fan of Paris Hilton.
Like, it's the way that she enunciates things that bothers me, because you can tell she's doing it intentionally. It's not like natural when she does it, because she's like, it's hard to explain. I don't like it.
If you want a good example of that, listen to the clip that I posted in this video of her where she was talking about this venue and the Stanley Cup.
Well, I hate to go back to James Charles, but it like unlocked a memory of mine when you were talking about Glamzilla and her like putting that in the corner where you could barely see it. You remember that's what James Charles did with Sugar Bear hair, right? Because he didn't want people to like no, so it was like little tiny. I think up in the top left-hand corner it said #ad. He's like one of the first people that started like really doing that. I think Jaclyn Hill did it a few times as well. They're all so shady.
And moving on from that, we have to talk about Brittany Dawn real quick, because we said the other day that Brittany Dawn's lawsuit with the state of Texas has been settled. They came to an agreement and she owed, I believe it was $430,000. Don't quote me on that. It was a lot of money that Brittany Dawn ended up owing from that lawsuit. Well, a lot of people have been wondering what is next for Brittany Dawn. Like, where is she going to go? Is she going to keep up the whole Christian thing? Is she going to go back to being a foster mother? Well, the next step for Brittany Dawn is the fact that she started a podcast. I believe it's like called Chiseled in Jesus podcast, or it's Chiseled in something podcast. She uploaded this full story over there of like what took place. She's answering people's questions. She's giving her side of the story. She wasn't able to say anything the whole time the state of Texas was investigating her, which we all understand that. So if you guys are interested in hearing the full like rundown of what Brittany Dawn has to say, like go over to her podcast, Chiseled in
Is it Chiseled in Stone,
Chiseled
girl?
in Stone. No, it's Chiseled in Jesus. I don't know what the it's called, but I'm going to listen to the whole thing for you guys. And I'm going to give you an update. The reason that I want to talk about Brittany Dawn in this video is that she's over on TikTok and she's throwing shade at the entire situation. And people are like, yes, bitch, you're taking your power back. They're not calling her a bitch. Oh my God. They're saying, yes, queen, like take your power back in the name of Jesus, like all of that. I think it's nice that Brittany Dawn can throw a little shade there. If James Charles can do it with the Bye Sister video, Brittany Dawn can do it with her lawsuit. Oh my God. You know, that reminds me of like someone getting baptized in a hog trough. So I don't know if I told this story on this YouTube channel before, but when I was growing up, I was one of those like gothic kids, like the punky kids, like with the spiked hair, like would wear the eyeliner, all of that. So obviously my parents were a little concerned. And I guess rightfully so, because look at where I'm at now. Like, look at how I turned out. But my mom sat me down because her husband, this awful man that she met after my parents got divorced, sat me down because he convinced her, and they prayed for me.
They prayed the gay away.
No, they prayed the gay away on me, and they like had their hands like on my shoulders. I think like one was like on top of my head. They were rubbing this like anointed oil on my forehead, and I was really pissed because the next day I woke up and I had a huge pimple. Like it was ridiculous, but it didn't just stop with them doing that. And I wish that like cameras like for recording were like a big thing back then. We were a little poor, so we wouldn't have like one of like the bigger ones.
A Ring camera would have been good.
It would have been great. But then they went into my bedroom, and on the back of my bedroom door, I had like all of these gay things, like photos of like guys kissing, like all of this kind of stuff, all of this propaganda, all of this agenda was on the back of my door. Yes. And let's just say that they had to anoint that room twice over. They had to get rid of my door. They took my door. That's how bad it was. That man was a piece of shit. May he burn in hell.
I wish you well.
I wish you well. In hell.
I really
burn in hell.
Let's try.
The next person that I want to talk about, I'm always so confused when people over on TikTok say that Mama Tot has haters, because I genuinely do not understand it. Every time I have seen a Mama Tot video, it has been so positive, it's been so uplifting, and she's always just trying to help people over on TikTok and just on her platform in general. So the other day I came across a Mama Tot video, and she was talking about scammers over on TikTok. And you know that we love to talk about a TikTok scammer. We love talking about Cole Scamigan. We love talking about that one lady with the big Carrie Walls. We have even talked about, this is more so the kind that I feel like Mama Tot was talking about. We have talked about Maya Look Up Lashes. If anybody out there knows about Maya Look Up Lashes, please let me know down in the comment section.
She was certainly talking about Carrie Walls, because she was like, because she was like somebody wanting their phone bill paid.
Girl, that's
and the
all
composite shoes, girl.
Let's talk about it. I don't need to tell y'all I'm a good person. I think you can see that for yourself, okay? But that doesn't mean that I will not call you out on your bull mess. All right? And that does not mean that I will not hold you accountable for the bull mess that you are doing and the lies that... Let's get into it, shall we? I need y'all to understand something, and I'm only telling you this to help you, okay? Because some of y'all are actually enabling people on this app, and it is very dangerous because of what they're dealing with. Let me explain. There are people in active addiction on this app that are coming on here every day, lying to you, because that is what an addict does, is lie, okay? Is lie to get what they need from good-hearted people like us, all right? They're coming on here saying they need their phone bill paid. They lost their husband. Do you know that there is somebody on this app right now that said that their husband died, and the other day while she was on live, her husband walked through the door? There is somebody on this app that during a live moves off camera after we heard, how can I explain this and be discreet? The credit card on the table. Do you know what she was doing? And after she's done that for 5 minutes, she leans out of the camera and we hear it, and she comes back as if nothing just happened, all while asking you for money to pay a bill that she so desperately needs paid. There's several of them. There are several of them that are lying to you to get you to donate money to them. If you want to help them, call over the phone and pay the bill. I need you to stop giving them cash because it's dangerous. It's very, very dangerous. And there are people that are offering to pay the bill, but mark my words, they will have an excuse for that. There was somebody on here the other day saying they wanted tickets to a museum for their child. Everybody in the comment section, hey, I'll call up the museum and have them ready for you. Matter of fact, somebody did pay for those tickets. You know what happened? They were never picked up. Do you know why? Because she didn't want the tickets to the museum. She wanted the cash. Stop enabling them, okay? If we want to help, let's try our best to get them the help that they need, because they deserve to have a better life, absolutely. But we can't make them do that. They have to do that themselves. But I'm going to need y'all to stop giving them money, because something terrible is going to happen.
But basically one of the things that she is saying is that you could be enabling someone's addiction, because there are so many people over on TikTok that are in active addiction that people are literally just throwing money at. I don't know if they're throwing money at them because those people get their fix, they get high, they come back on live, they make an ass of themselves. But literally TikTok has turned into scam talk. Everybody has a reason as to why they need some money over on TikTok. For some reason, the #1 scam over there is telling people that you have stage 4 pancreatic cancer. I think it's disgusting. I could put up pictures of 5 different people right now that are claiming they have pancreatic cancer. Not gonna do it.
It's really truly the grift that keeps on grifting.
It is. Well, because Mama Tot put up this video, there is like this crazy lady over on TikTok. Like she is insane. Like this lady, and she's been insane for a while, because back in the day she used to go on like Howard Stern's show. She was one of those people. Her name is Deb the pet lady. She did a few videos about Mama Tot, basically calling her all these things, saying that she's a horrible person. She's only on there to like spread negativity, which is completely opposite of what Mama Tot is doing. Well, this Deb lady had apparently done a live stream with this guy named Brandon over on TikTok, and this guy has some cognitive issues because he was in a really bad car accident when he was 6 years old, and this lady was such a nasty bitch to him. Like she was screaming at him. She was telling him that he was only using her for attention because he was like beating her in the battle.
Wow! That's wrong, okay? It's wrong. This is why I'm not gonna value you anymore. Because you're using me for attention. Let's go! Let's go! He's gonna use you for attention here. And that's why he keeps trying to come up on my show. He's using us for attention! Hit me now! Hit me is the game! Hit me! Hit me now! You gonna let him take my nuggies? Hit me! Hit me! Hit me! Hit me now!
Debbie, I don't mean to upset you. I'm sorry.
Hit me now! Hit me! Hit me! Hit me! It's a game. I don't care. I want to win, all right? Hit me.
Sorry, Debbie.
I don't care. I'm backing out of the game, okay?
No.
5 minutes.
I don't want to make you
Mute you. You're not using me anymore, Brandon, because that's what you do. You're using me for attention. Go.
I'm not using you.
Stop hitting me up for a request.
Debbie, I'm not using you for attention. What do you mean?
So done. So done.
Debbie.
Like, she got very butthurt about this.
She was being
and
a
was just,
nasty bitch.
The whole time he's standing there just like looking at the camera like, are you talking to me? Like, what am I doing? Like, he was very, very confused.
Yeah.
Just being downright disgusting. So Mama Tot actually decided that she was going to respond over on TikTok, and she did a battle with this Brandon guy as well. And she told all of her followers, because she has a very large platform, please do not send me any donations right now. Go over to his live stream, and if that's how you want to donate, please do that. We're going to let him win this battle. So this Deb lady decided that she was going to go on like a few-day attack of Mama Tot and just upload like crazy, like you could just tell that she's not all mentally
Reaching
there.
for attention.
Like, that's the nicest way to put it. Like, she's not all mentally there.
I'm a nut. I'm like a little baby. I don't get my way, I scream. I like a little baby. I gotta get my way, see? And then I make you all get my... I got my magic powers on you people. I make you feel sad for me. Then you all feel bad for me. Then you start gifting.
Well, you know that Mama Tot gathered her ass nicely and put her together and was like, look, girl, without being like, look, girl.
When I tell you, I wish people would just leave me the hell alone, honey. I wish people would just leave me the hell alone. I mean, it's that simple. It's that simple. I mean, I feel like I'm about to go through a situation I went in months ago and then finally got rid of that person. But anyway, you know, this battle thing with Brandon, I stand by what I did and the other creators did for him. You know, we all seen what we seen on the app. There are hundreds of creators that launched those clips out of what happened to him. Maybe even 1,000 people, but there were a lot of people that spoke up for Brandon. So I'm not too sure why I'm being targeted. I probably because I've got a very large account and that's what people do. But my account is for outreach and it'll always be for outreach. You know, whatever Brandon does from this point forward is what Brandon does. I couldn't tell you. I stand by helping him. I'm glad I did it because I think that it shows a lot of people what to do in a really bad situation. So I'm not too sure why this person who attacked Brandon is now attacking me. I've never said this lady's name. I never showcased the clip. I never did anything other than say what happened and how I was going to fix what got broken. And I did, and I'm glad that I did. You know, these battle things, I'll never do them. There's a reason for that. I think they kind of turn people evil. People become greedy. People no longer care about their followers. They just only care about going live, not to see how their followers are doing, but to go in live to see what they can get from them. And I don't support that. I don't like it. I will never do it. I mean, I'm a very large creator, but how often do you see me go live? Not very often. I used to go live every Friday to do my PO unboxing, and then it just became very overwhelming after I lost my baby child. And I'm trying to get back into doing that. But yeah, my account is for outreach. It will never be used to bully somebody. It will never be used to showcase anything other than, hey, let's chime in and help this, or what can I do for you, or let me sit with you, or that's what I do. And, you know, I feel like I've already been through this situation before with somebody coming out and attacking me and painting a narrative that I did not do. I just think that I'm being attacked because I've got the largest following, and people just come to me and they don't leave because I guess they feel good and they like what they see. And you can really see when somebody is bullshitting and they see that I don't bullshit. I'm just me. I'm just greatest compliment I can get is somebody telling me I'm down to earth. Honey, you tell me that and I'll just smile and give you a big old hug because that's a compliment to me. I'm honored that you think that. I take that very seriously. But I haven't done anything to this woman who attacked Brandon, nor will I. So I'm not too sure why she's attacking me, but y'all just ignore the lady. I mean, it's it's almost like a nuisance at this point. Just ignore her. Brandon's good.
So if anybody out there is familiar with Mama Tot, can somebody please let me know why she has all these like hate pages over on
I wanna know,
Reddit?
too.
Because all the video clips that I see, because people upload some of them over on TikTok of what people are talking about, there's nothing bad. Like one of the things they were hating on is that she showed her daughter's old bedroom, and inside of it, it was like all PR packages, and there were just boxes sitting around. It's like, oh my God, heaven forbid there's a little clutter in her house. So moving on from Mama Tot, we have to talk about Jaclyn Hill because she has uploaded a new video. First of all, I want to say, I don't know if Jaclyn Hill saw our video. I don't know if Jaclyn Hill just saw people's comments over on TikTok. She has started talking about Morphe once again. You know, we had that title of a video that said Jaclyn Hill fired by Forma, because that's what a lot of people on social media were saying. Like, we never hear her mention these brands anymore. She took Jaclyn Cosmetics out of her bio on some of her social media. So people were wondering, like, is she still going to be going forward with Jaclyn Cosmetics?
Can we talk about that for a second though? Because listen, Jaclyn Hill did all of that, but remember in a video a few months ago, I can't remember exactly which one, she was like, I could just sell all my businesses, and she cut the part where she said makeup. It's always a play with Jaclyn. It's always what she can say to make her look more appealing or bigger than what she is, because Jaclyn Hill is not the big deal that she used to be anymore. And I think she's having a hard time understanding and like grasping that, because it's not what it was for her in 2016, 2017, and 2018 anymore. And I think she's having a hard time like gripping the reality of her not being that girl anymore.
Well, Jaclyn Hill uploaded a new video the other day. Now, she said over on her Instagram story that it was going to be like a Sephora haul because, you know, she spent like $2,000 on brand new makeup. To everyone's surprise, Jaclyn Hill has returned to YouTube for a GWRM video that is not, that's a get wetty with me.
Get wetty.
Get wetty. Get wetty with me.
Get wetty with me.
Get wetty. So in the Get Wetty with Me video, Jaclyn Hill held up that box of like $2,000 worth of Sephora makeup. And she was like, hey guys, I have all these new products. First product that she uses, Amazon. She was like, I just got, it's sold out everywhere, so I got it off of Amazon. She showed like 2 or 3 products that she actually like, brand new products that she was just trying out in this haul from Sephora. 95% of the products she used, all Jaclyn Cosmetics. And it was literally just an ad for Jaclyn Cosmetics.
And you could see Jaclyn Cosmetics in the back of the mirror the whole time.
I did comment underneath her video, and I was like, since when is Jaclyn Cosmetics in Sephora? I was not even trying to be that shady. It was a genuine question that I was having at that moment. That was my initial reaction. But also, if she is going to be in Sephora, then congratulations, girl. Good for you. It worked out for Manuel. Honestly, if I was one of Jaclyn Hill's like fans or like viewers that was like, I can't wait for a new Jaclyn Hill video to drop, I would be a little annoyed, because Jaclyn, in my opinion, honestly does think that her audience is dumb. And maybe they are a little stupid, because they literally eat it up and they're like, this is the video that we've been waiting for, Jaclyn. Like, we have been missing this content. You've been missing her promoting Jaclyn Cosmetics.
Well, you want to know what's really funny about it, because we were talking about James earlier, is, you know, Jaclyn Hill said she spent so much time procuring this brand, putting it together, making sure that all her T's were crossed and all her I's were dotted, and then for her to have Lipstick Gate. I'm predicting this now. I don't think it's going to be to the scale of Lipstick Gate. I think James Charles is going to have issues, and he's going to probably have to reach out to Jaclyn and ask her how she handled it, but she didn't have any good advice for herself.
Well, I hope for James Charles' sake he didn't go with the same lab that Jaclyn Hill used. That would be awful.
Imagine.
Just awful. And I am not even trying to knock Jaclyn for using her own products. Obviously, those are her products from a company that she was licensed out to.
Somebody else worked very hard on those products.
She looked at a catalog and she picked out exactly what she wanted. Like, the thing with Jaclyn is, I mean, I'm not knocking her. That's the work that she had to do, because it's cool that she got to create something that, like, be a part of something like that. But the fact that she tries to make it out like she was in there, like, swirling around the mica, and she's in there, like, just mixing every single thing.
Somebody else worked very hard on those products.
Like, she's out there pretending that she's sourcing the ingredients is what she's doing. It honestly does show, in my opinion, how much Jaclyn Hill cares about YouTube, because her video has been up for over 2 days now, and it's still Get Wetty with Me. The R has not been flipped over to where the W is, and that's such a simple fix. She doesn't care. She doesn't care to come back and do that.
There's a lot of people that do that, though. Maybe she did that to get attention. Maybe people clicked on it. Maybe she got more views than she normally would.
Hey, there is some other drama with this video from Jaclyn Hill, because in the background of it, Jordan, the now husband, he decided that he was going to flash his ass in the background. And a lot of people were perturbed by it. They were like, why is he doing that? You know, there's younger people that watch these videos. That's very inappropriate. You literally could have edited it out of the video. But of course, Jacqueline wanted it there so that people would talk about it.
I honestly think that Jordan is so cringe because that podcast where he compared what Jacqueline went through with Lipstick Gate to Alec Baldwin and Rust.
There's a few things.
That's disrespectful. One,
Yes.
someone died. Nobody died over the lipsticks. There were some people that had like some cuts and shit, but he wanted to act like there was this war room.
Yes.
And like, that's some audacity. And you know, that came straight from Jacqueline Hill's mouth. And the fact that he called her my girl every 3 seconds was highly annoying to me.
And speaking of that podcast real quick, because I actually did want to revisit that because there was so much that we brushed over in the video where we talked about it. We were just kind of like cringing at how many times he said my girl. It's still cringy. First of all, the guy that was on the couch with him looked like he was extremely uncomfortable. Also, kind of just seemed like, I don't know what the he's talking about. Like, a lot of people were clocking that. But also, on top of that, did he really have the audacity to fix his mouth and compare Jacqueline's lipsticks to that lady dying?
Oh, he did.
And a gun going off and someone? Like, how far up your girlfriend's, or sorry, your wife's ass are you that you think that is like an acceptable thing to compare? But then also, I think it's so cringe how he was like, you've never been in a war room. Like, bitch, have you?
Well, it's also
you been
funny.
in a war room?
What's really funny about it to me is the fact that he was like, none of these people know what it's like to own a brand. Well, you know what? Jacqueline Hill didn't know what it was like to own a brand either. You know who did? Marlene Estelle. Out of everybody, Marlene Estelle owned her brand. Jacqueline didn't. She was the face of it. So that's why I said earlier, somebody worked really hard on her brand, not Jacqueline. I just find that really disrespectful to Marlena for him to say that as if like Jacqueline Hill had owned any kind of like real brand that was successful that wasn't Jacqueline Cosmetics. Because let's face it, Jacqueline Cosmetics might have been successful, but whatever success they had was overshadowed by drama and people literally getting refunds for everything they purchased with Lipstick Gate.
So before we talk about Colleen, I wanted to say one more thing about Jeffree Star, because a lot of people are thinking that him and Lipstick Nick are on the outs right now. She posted to her Instagram story that everything is being taken down in that store that she has over in LA, the Pout place, where they did everyone's makeup. That I don't know if Jeffree was an investor, but he was like someone who actually helped promote it. Well, in the slides that she was showing of everything coming down, she was saying that a lot of stuff is for sale right now, and there were 2 big things full of Jeffree Star cosmetics that are for sale. So a lot of people are wondering, is Lipstick Nick on the outs with Jeffree Star just how Boom was? Because you know Jeffree Star's ex-makeup artist went over on his Instagram and said that he was selling everything Jeffree Star. Wanted to give it away to someone who lived in Houston and needed like a new kit for doing makeup. So I wonder, I don't know.
It'd be interesting. I want to know what Lipstick Nick knows, because you know she knows everybody's business. She's done everybody's makeup. She's been around since the inception of the beauty community, basically.
But now we have to get into Colleen Ballinger, and it seems like every day when we wake up and we see more and more stuff about Colleen Ballinger on Twitter, on TikTok, on YouTube even, it seems to be getting a lot worse. Like, I remember when Shane was going through his cancellation and people were just like pulling things from his past. I think the stuff that Colleen is getting accused of, in my opinion, is a lot worse than what Shane Dawson. Like, Shane Dawson did horrible things, but Colleen Ballinger, I'm just like, oh my God. And you know what? This actually reminds me of a clip of Shane Dawson. He went on Hey Queen back in the day. And when Colleen Ballinger was brought up, he answered and he said that she's like a mean girl. And she's always like, well, who do you hate right now? Who are you going after? Who are you going to end it all for? Like, that kind of thing.
Oh, where's she at?
Colleen is the best because she needs 10 of these fans. She is the most hateful, shadiest. I love her. Like, whenever we hang out, literally the first words out of her mouth are, okay, like, what do you got? Who do you hate? Who's next? Like, just going in on everybody. I love it.
Oh,
you got to get her on here.
Oh, I would love to.
It's rough.
Please throw in a good word for us.
Yeah. That's the thing is a lot of, well, I guess comedians in general, like, a lot of the comedy comes from hate, self-hatred. When you hate yourself, you hate everybody around you. So I've got a little better at it, but no, hanging out with her, man.
She loves to throw some zingers,
loves it. Loves it. And she's so good at being nice to, like, she'll do collabs with every YouTuber, and they think, like, I'm like Colleen's best friend, and then we get together, and I do the same thing, but then we'll get together, and oh, man.
No,
they only knew.
I saw people over on TikTok saying, if Shane Dawson is saying that Colleen Ballinger is this horrible person of all people, then you know it's bad. But I want to start this by saying, I have never cared for Colleen Ballinger. I have never thought that she was funny. I always just sit there as I'm seeing a clip of her and I wonder to myself, like, where are the jokes?
Cringe.
Why are people paying for this? Like, all of these clips of this tour that she's doing, you know, she had a show the other night where she was selling canceled merch. I think the name of the show was actually canceled. So I don't know if that was because of everything that's going on right now. I don't know if that was something that was pre-planned with that name. I do know it was a rescheduled show, so they were not about to cancel that again. She did take the stage. I heard that some people were getting like videos taken down over on Twitter because I guess someone in her camp was apparently watching and was like, you're not going to put any videos. So all of these clips were coming out of her show from the other night. And I was just sitting there and I was thinking to myself, like, this is the kind of gig that when you're first starting off in the industry and you just want to like make a little bit of money, maybe get your name out there, you don't know who's going to be in the audience. This is the kind of gig that you try to scrub from the internet if your career takes off. Like the two background people, Corey with his disgusting ass and whoever the other person was, like, it's sad. It's
gross.
honestly sad to watch.
There was some messages that leaked, because if you guys aren't following Adam on Twitter, you definitely should be. Like, some of the messages that Corey himself sent out to these kids are just absolutely disgusting. And if I was a parent and I found out that my kid was in a chat with a fully grown adult saying the things that he and Colleen were saying, we would have a major problem.
So the first thing I want to discuss when it comes to Colleen is there has been a video clip going around of a girl up on the stage with Colleen laying on her back with her legs in the air, Colleen holding them and spreading them. It turns out the girl was 16 years old and she wasn't covered up all that much. She said in this video that she had like some spandex on. Thank God that she did. But since the video clip was going viral, she felt like she needed to go to TikTok and she needed to tell her own story to give people context and how she was actually feeling. And it was not good.
Colleen traumatized.
Hi, okay, my name is Becky. I'm the girl in this video, and this video has over 1 million views, and that is a lot of people to be seeing this story without hearing it from me, so I want to explain this. So I was a fan of Colleen and all the Ballinger family for a very, very long time, and I think in this video I was about 16. If you've never been to a Miranda show, Colleen frequently has segments where she calls people up on stage. One of those segments was the porn bit, which I'm not really going to be explaining in this video, but that's why I was kind of trying to dress skimpy so that I would be called up on stage and basically get degraded by Miranda. But I did not get called up for that. I got called up for the yoga challenge. Now, as soon as I stood up from the audience, I saw Colleen's eyes widen because she realized I was not wearing pants. But for some reason, that didn't stop her from continuing. In fact, no adult at any point stepped in this situation. So we get to the point in the yoga challenge where I am laying down and Colleen is spreading my legs basically as far as she can. She spreads them so far that you can see the spandex I was wearing under my romper, which thank God I was wearing. Now, the original video posted by Xandar, I'm sorry if I pronounced her name wrong, is only a screenshot, but there is a whole video of this. But that screenshot is the most important because that is the moment I will never forget, where I was laying under Colleen and she was smirking down at me while thousands of people were laughing, and I was terrified that my body wasn't covered up enough by the spandex or the romper. I basically felt naked, so it felt incredibly violating. I was younger and my body was still developing and I was still becoming comfortable with myself, so for her to use my body as entertainment on stage really set my confidence back quite a lot. And not to mention, after all this, after the show, I had to walk back to my car where there was many men staring at me in a very predatory way that they were not looking at me before because of how exposed I had been on stage. So I literally did not feel safe leaving the venue. And I'm not saying this was all, although people are debating that in that comment section, but as someone who has been assaulted, this situation gave me that same feeling where it feels like you need to purge and like clean out your insides, you know, just that nasty, gross feeling. There's a couple comments on Xandar's video being like, oh, she signed up for that, why is this such a big deal, blah blah blah. Colleen exploited my minor body for entertainment and money and did not protect my safety at this show. As an outsider looking into this situation, it may seem like this wasn't a big deal, but this was really pretty scary for my teenage self, and especially as someone who loved and looked up to Colleen. And I could never say anything because everybody loved her. But this is who she really is. She uses kids for her own gain. I was a minor, and again, she did not protect me. So if you're watching this and you're thinking about taking your kids to a Miranda show, I would advise you to think twice because you may come back with years of trauma, and I don't wish that on anyone.
I can only imagine how this girl was feeling because it was almost like she was ridiculed in front of all of these people, and then she talked about her walk back to her car and how men were staring at her. Like, that put her in a very vulnerable situation at 16 years old, and that is what the environment is that Colleen is enabling at this point. She's having all these people come to her shows, and she's having these young kids that are under 18 do all these explicit things and poses and stuff. Like, at what point does she not realize that this is dangerous?
Well, there's another clip that's coming back to haunt Colleen right now because she went on Stephen Colbert, which is one of the late night show hosts, and she was talking about Miranda, and he asked her like, well, are there things that you say when you are Miranda? Are those things that you mean? Like, do you believe them? Like that kind of thing. And paraphrasing, she basically says that majority of the time it is what she actually wants to say, and she kind of uses Miranda as this kind of cover. So what exactly is the majority of the time here? Because from all the messages that I've seen that she's been sending people, it's talking inappropriately to people that are underage, asking them very disgusting things.
I'm gonna say it right now. I believe that Colleen Ballinger is Miranda, and Miranda is Colleen Ballinger, because the clip that I tweeted out that I screen recorded from TikTok of her on the beach, I think it's with her sister or maybe her cousin, where they're talking about this young child that's on the beach like naked or whatever. It was completely disgusting. And that was Colleen saying that. That was not her being in character. She was the one making all these like really crude comments.
Another disgusting clip that I have seen of Colleen over the past few days is she was in a laundromat with Todrick Hall, and for some reason Todrick and her thought it would be a really funny idea to record this homeless person that was asleep in the laundromat, literally go up to them with the camera to the point where the person moved because they were laying underneath something.
Todrick and Colleen Ballinger have more in common than you could possibly imagine. Not only did they mock a homeless person to film a YouTube video together, Todrick used to live with Colleen. I had to work out of her house for many months, and it was torture. Talk about a nightmare. I don't even really want to get into it, but I mean, it's really disturbing.
So we're at the laundromat. This is our next location.
There's someone we're disturbing their slumber. Guys, don't let this happen to me. Okay. We're here.
It's a wrap.
As you can see in the video, Colleen and Todrick mock a homeless person and then attempt to kick her out to film a YouTube video. It's disgusting. And this isn't the first time that she's apparently made fun of homeless people. She used to, I guess, film videos going beside homeless people on the street and taking pictures and videos with them. It's really disturbing. I've witnessed on multiple occasions Todrick using minors for free labor and work, not to mention all the conversations he has with them in their DM.
Just nasty, disgusting behavior.
What kind of soulless piece of shit would laugh at someone that's already homeless and dealing with one of the worst possible things that anyone could deal with in their life? Like, what is funny about that? Where's the comedy in that? Where's the humor in that? That's another person that you're basically laughing at because they're in a horrible situation. Like, this clip really pissed me off because this homeless person was just laying there trying to sleep, and Colleen and Todrick are thinking it's funny, talking about him and like poking and prodding at him. Like, what the fuck?
I'll tell you the kind of person that would think it's funny to post something like that and even have that kind of content on their page. The kind of person that would upload a video and let everyone know that one time they grabbed their dog and started pinching that dog in a very like hard way to the point where the dog like yipped and turned around and it bit them. That dog had to be put to sleep because of that. And she thought that was a funny story to tell with like a little bit of laughter there.
Grabbed my dog for no reason. Just grabbed the dog and pinched its
hate the
skin,
story.
dug my nails into it. The dog yells, turns around, protects itself, and bites me in the face. And I got stitches, I went to the hospital, and they were like, what happened? And I was like, the dog just bit me. And then they had to put the dog to sleep because the dog was dangerous to be around. So I murdered the dog.
That's not funny. You know what that reminds me of? That reminds me of Nikki Phillippi and her husband when they were literally allowing their baby, their toddler, to walk up to that dog and basically get in its face while it was eating, and then they were shocked. Oh, the dog just all of a sudden snapped on him. No, it's your fault as a piss poor parent to take care of that. The Nikki Phillippi thing, it's going viral again over on TikTok. I see her in so many comment sections, and every time I see her, there is always a thread underneath of people like, I wonder if the person that you're commenting on knows that you did this to your dog. But also another thing that I've been reminded of because of Nikki Phillippi, sorry guys, I'm going off of topic right now, is that she did that adoption thing where they canceled the adoption of, I believe it was a Chinese baby, because they weren't allowed to show the baby on social media for a year. So that to me is just showing, one, they honestly, in my opinion, should not be parents because they care more about money rather than the actual family.
Yeah.
Like, I would feel like if you adopted a child, as somebody who is adopted, you want to spend that first year especially like bonding with that baby and bonding with that child. So the fact that they're like, you know what, we're just going to cancel this because we have vlogs to make.
You can't put it on social media.
Like, oh my God, just so annoying.
I want to get back to Colleen really quickly because I know somebody's going to be in the comment section trying to defend her, because this was a story from when she was a child. Her saying that and then making the joke, well, yeah, I killed a dog at the end, is disgusting. And that shows that she was completely aware of what she had done and she had zero remorse for it. That to me is disgusting. That is something that you do not with. We already got her in all these group chats with kids, but now you're admitting to harming animals. Colleen Ballinger to me is a menace. I've said it in my videos. I'll say it in yours. She needs to be stopped.
It's just so crazy to me how many, like, I would like to say that I am shocked at how many influencers that are her friend are not saying anything about this. Daniel Prada, Joey Graceffa, James Charles. James Charles did try to defend her the last time that all of this came up, and it was predator protecting predator, in my opinion. But one person that people really want to speak out about this is Trisha Paytas, because you know Trisha Paytas has that new podcast with Colleen. I'm going to be completely honest with everyone out there. I did not understand that fit. I did not think that those two would mesh well together to do a podcast. It literally seemed like two people just wanted to do a podcast. Hey, here's the idea. Let's bounce off of it. I get that they're dressing up. My opinion is if Trisha wants to do a podcast, because she always ends up having drama with whoever it is, or that person has their own drama, because look at Colleen and now Trisha's getting wrapped back into it because she's not saying anything. Trisha needs to do a podcast and have a rotating host, like this person this week, and then that way, if anything ever comes out about them, you don't have to invite them back. You don't have the relationship of every single week you have to sit down to do a podcast.
I think that Trisha, if she would sit down and own some things from her past, because let's not forget, Trisha has done and said some things in the past that are not good. I feel like if Trisha sat down and owned some of the things from her past and said, you know what, as a new mother, I understand the seriousness of this and these jokes are not okay. And if she threw Colleen under that bus and admitted some things that she did in her past, that would resonate with people and more people would respect Trisha. But the longer she lets this go and the longer she doesn't address this, it's going to fester. So if she's wanting to speak up, Trisha needs to do it now, because this story is only getting bigger.
Well, Ethan Klein was over on his show and he said that he heard some tea that Trisha Paytas is actually going to be sitting down and like releasing some kind of statement, something to acknowledge this whole Colleen situation going on.
The one and only Colleen Ballinger. And I didn't want to talk about it on the main show, so I talked about it there. Although I heard some gossip that, and I'm not going to say from where I heard this, but okay, dude, I'm sorry, but there's some crazy ass tea coming out of this. Here, send this to me in Discord so I can show this. I'm gonna send it in.
Okay, what are you?
The Colleen shit is pretty wild.
I'm gonna send it.
What is he cooking?
So the tea that I heard is that Trisha's gonna be making a statement about Colleen soon.
Mm-hmm.
How about that?
It's in the Discord.
Here's the so this guy tweeting this, by the way, this is Oliver Tree. Dumbass.
Idiot.
Here is a tweet that's going viral. This is one of these. This is a guy who was in one of her little groups for kids. And so
the way you're talking about this, a lot of our viewers probably don't know what you're referring to.
Colleen Ballinger, aka Miranda Sings. I think people know about it. It's pretty big.
Okay.
She's being like utterly canceled right now because of basically really inappropriate relationships with kids. History of it. And yeah, there's a lot of people talking about it. And she just made a new podcast with Trisha. And so this guy, who was one of these kids, who was in one of these chat rooms with her, tweeted this shit. Colleen and her friends subscribed to Trisha's OnlyFans. They would literally have little viewing parties just to body shame and make fun of her. They would invite her to their home and smile in her face while doing this behind their back. That's really sad. Sorry, girl, but these are your friends, Trisha. Consider this info overshared. That's the name of their podcast. That's really sad. I feel bad for Trisha hearing that.
If that's crew, that's really, really, really horrible.
I do genuinely believe that's true, based on nothing.
Based on vibes.
Yeah, vibes is everything.
What are you, a woman?
This moment, there was another clip that
joke.
people were
It was a
sharing
joke.
of.
Don't come for me, please.
Colleen saying that Trisha's a whale.
Well, you were joking. You were like, what if Ethan is just sitting there saying that Trisha's going to do this to kind of like back her into the corner to make her have to do it?
Yeah.
Because if she's really not planning on it and he said that, then people are going to be like, hey, Trisha, time is ticking. Like,
Yeah.
where are you?
I think that was Ethan like planting a seed, and he's smart to do that because obviously he doesn't like Trisha, so he's going to do anything he can to poke and prod at her. But I think if you look at the history of Trisha Paytas and everything she's called people out for before, Trisha doesn't like people talking about her behind her back. And there are so many clips going around now, especially the one of Colleen calling her a whale.
Yes.
Like, hello. If Trisha doesn't call her out for her talking about her behind her back, like, I will be like very disappointed.
So it's not just that clip of Colleen and Corey calling Trisha Paytas a whale. Adam McIntyre has said over on Twitter, and I believe another person confirmed this as well, that Colleen was allegedly sending naked photos of Trisha Paytas, like her OnlyFans photos. I don't know if it was like from the actual subscription or the ones that you could just find over on Twitter, but allegedly Colleen was sending those photos to people in that group chat, and they were like laughing about it and like talking about it. So she actively makes fun of Trisha Paytas at every chance that she gets, according to all of these people. And you know what? I believe them.
I believe
do
it
believe
too.
them.
She's a mean girl. You can look at her and you can tell that she's mean.
Well, I saw over on Twitter, Marva John is asking the question of, did Trisha Paytas already forgive Colleen Ballinger? Because over on her Instagram story, she posted an image and it says, always pray to have eyes that see the best in people, a heart that forgives the worst, a mind that forgets the bad, and a soul that never loses faith in God. So do you think that Trisha behind the scenes has already forgiven Colleen Ballinger, and she's going to sit down and she's going to say, we talked about it. Colleen is not like that behind the scenes.
No. And here is why that would be wrong, because it's not for Trisha to forgive Colleen. Colleen has done this to so many people. It's not a thing where Trisha can accept an apology from Colleen for this. Colleen needs to address this publicly and head on, because if she doesn't, this is going to be the end of her career. I think she needs to face this. And if she doesn't, I feel like she's going to be in for a really rude awakening in a couple of weeks when this story is all over mainstream media.
This whole entire Colleen situation is being talked about in every single corner of the internet.
Yes.
Brett Cooper is even talking about this over on her channel. That is someone that I never thought would say the name Adam McIntyre or Colleen Ballinger. Like, it's so crazy to me. I actually wish that Brett Cooper would go in a lot more into this story and show some other things that Colleen has been up to. Something that I definitely think that should happen for Colleen, if like she somehow skirts away from this drama and she tricks everyone the same way that James Charles tricked everyone back in the day, she needs to end Miranda Sings.
Yes.
It's not funny. I was concerned as I was watching some of these clips from the show because I heard a lot of adult laughter mixed in with the younger laughter as well, but there was so many adults laughing at these jokes, and I'm concerned because none of them are funny. It's cringe. Like, she's literally doing this whole like how to get canceled, like sit down and do like the apology video and how to gaslight people.
Yeah.
So she thinks it's funny.
Yeah,
she thinks
it's a joke
funny
to her.
So we will keep you guys posted on this whole Colleen Ballinger thing. I don't even want to say this is drama because this is past it. This is sick allegations that are out there. There is so much evidence that is being put out onto the internet of things that she actually did.
Yes.
Like, cannot deny that she did that. I'm very curious how she's going to handle it though. Like, is she going to come on camera and is she going to own things, or is she going to try to throw other people under the bus? She needs to throw Corey under the bus.
She's throwing Corey under
Corey
that
needs to
bus.
go under the bus. Get under the bus, Corey.
She's going to run him down
Back her-
with that bus.
Yeah, she should back that bus up. Like, no, he is...
She's just as guilty though.
Oh, no.
She is just as guilty.
Oh, of course. And with all that said, everyone, that is it for this video. We hope that you did enjoy it. Please leave a cop car emoji down below if you have made it this far in the video, because honestly, I think some people, someone needs to be investigated here because it's getting a little weird. And we will see you guys all in our next video. Bye.